They were two men born in different hemispheres, speaking different languages, walking separate paths. But history, with its eerie symmetry, linked their names forever in the shadows of political mystery. John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Tancredo Neves. One struck by bullets, the other silenced by illness. Or so we were told. This is not just a tale of assassination. It is a descent into the world beneath official narratives, a forbidden dossier of untold motives, vanishing witnesses, and silence that speaks volumes. If history is written by the victors, then what you're about to hear is what was left out. Let's begin in Dallas, Texas. It's November 22, 1963. The air is crisp. Crowds line the streets of Dealey Plaza, waving as the motorcade passes. President John F. Kennedy smiles from his convertible, young, charismatic, full of promise. Then, a crack. Another. Chaos erupts. Kennedy is hit. Slumped. The First Lady screams. The motorcade speeds away. Within hours, a suspect is named, Lee Harvey Oswald, a former Marine with communist sympathies. He's arrested. The country demands answers. But before he can testify, Oswald is gunned down by Jack Ruby, a nightclub owner. On live television. One man dead. Another silenced. And the truth buried. The Warren Commission declared Oswald acted alone. Case closed. But few believed it. Not then. Not now. Because the evidence, the raw, stubborn, unsettling evidence, whispers another story. Witnesses described gunfire from multiple directions. Police initially ran toward the grassy knoll, not the book depository. The so-called magic bullet theory, used to explain impossible wounds with a single shot, defied logic. Even doctors who examined Kennedy spoke of an exit wound in the front, not the back. Then came the Zapruder film. Frame by frame, the fatal shot appears to drive Kennedy backward. A detail hard to reconcile with the official story. A detail too many tried to ignore. And what about the enemies? JFK had many. He clashed with the CIA after the disastrous Bay of Pigs invasion. He challenged the Federal Reserve. He sought détente with the Soviet Union, risking the wrath of hawks in his own government. He warned publicly of secret societies and the dangerous rise of unchecked power. Did he threaten the system too much? Behind closed doors, whispers circulated. About CIA involvement. About mafia ties. About Cuban exiles and shadow governments. Even Lyndon Johnson, Kennedy's vice president and successor, became the subject of speculation. Then came the documents. Years later. Declassified, redacted, fragmented. FBI memos, CIA surveillance, foreign connections. Enough to raise eyebrows, never enough to close the case. The bullet that killed Kennedy shattered more than bone. It fractured a nation's trust. And from that moment, the age of innocence ended. America had entered the shadow realm, where truth becomes theory and theories become forbidden. Now travel with me to Brazil. March 1985. A nation stands on the edge of rebirth. After 21 years of military dictatorship, Brazil is preparing for democratic restoration. The man chosen to lead this new chapter, Tancredo Neves. An elder statesman. A moderate. A bridge between the old and the new. He had not been elected by the people directly, the military still controlled the Electoral College, but his support was broad. His mission clear: bring Brazil back to civilian rule. Rebuild institutions. Investigate the past. But on the eve of his inauguration, something happens. Tancredo falls ill. Severe abdominal pain. He's rushed to the hospital. Surgery follows. Then another. And another. In 39 days he undergoes 7 operations. He never regains full consciousness. He never speaks to the people he was about to lead. He dies. Before he can take the oath. Before he can lift the veil on decades of secrecy. The official cause, diverticulitis turned infection. But the questions came quickly. Why did it take so long to diagnose? Why were different hospitals used? Why was there no autopsy, not even a public investigation? Why were the medical reports vague, even contradictory? Some believe he was poisoned. Others suspect medical sabotage, a slow and silent coup, cloaked in white coats instead of military uniforms. And who stood to benefit? José Sarney, the vice president-elect and a former ally of the dictatorship, assumed the presidency. Promised reforms were delayed. Investigations into military abuses never came. 2 deaths. 2 nations. 2 moments where history shifted, or was shifted. Look at the pattern. A leader emerges with the potential to disrupt deeply rooted power. He speaks of change, of justice, of transparency. And then silence. For Kennedy, the silence came with the crack of a rifle. For Tancredo, with the quiet beep of a heart monitor. Is this merely coincidence? Or something darker? Throughout history, powerful systems have protected themselves by eliminating the unpredictable. Not always with assassins. Sometimes with poison. Or disease. Or delay. Always with plausible deniability. In both stories, files went missing. Testimonies changed. Institutions circled the wagons. And the people? They were told to move on. But the questions never died. Why did Kennedy want to splinter the CIA into 1,000 pieces? Why did so many insiders distrust the official investigation? Why did Tancredo's doctors disagree on basic facts? Why was there no pressure for an autopsy from the government, the press, or even his party? And most chilling of all, could these have been demonstrations? Messages to future leaders: challenge the system, and pay the price. Because assassinations aren't always designed just to kill a man. Sometimes they kill a movement, an idea, a hope. The legacy of JFK was taken up by his brother, Robert. Until he too was gunned down. Tancredo's ideals were embraced by future reformers. But none carried the same unifying presence, and none, perhaps, ever would. The deeper you go, the darker it becomes. Was Oswald a patsy as he claimed? Was Tancredo's death the final act of a regime unwilling to surrender? Or are we merely seeing ghosts and shadows? We may never know. But we can listen. To the silences. To the contradictions. To the pages torn from history. This is your forbidden dossier. And now you must ask yourself, when a leader dies at the threshold of power, who truly benefits? And more hauntingly, who is next?